Assos, one of the best preserved Greek cities in the world. This temple, dedicated to Athena, stands proud above this ancient Çanakkale hill. Once home to Aristotle, where he built a school of philosophy. We're continuing our road trip series, which today takes us through Çanakkale and onto Assos. This part of Çanakkale has some of the most beautiful hillsides I've ever seen in Turkey. Apart from the odd wind turbine here and there, some parts of this scenery seem untouched by civilization. You can feel the history emanating from it. It's full of these little tiny rural villages made from local stone.
This is where we're going today. On top of that hill, if you can see it in the distance, is the village of Behramkale and the ancient city of Assos.
It's an incredible sight seeing the city approach over the horizon, looming in the distance.
So as of recording, just went through, and it's €11 to enter for non-residents or non-citizens of Turkey, unless you've got a museum card. This place also has one of the most amazing views in the area. Take a look.
This beautiful blue water is the Aegean Sea, and across it you can see the island of Lesbos, or Midilli as it's known in Turkish. Athena was like the ultimate patron goddess. She was all about wisdom, war strategy and crafts, basically the perfect combo for a city that wanted to be smart and strong.
Welcome to Assos, the ancient city. The original settlers came from Lesbos over there. And the city was called Methymna, they came from. They were Aeolian settlers, which to you and me basically means Greek. The temple is 238 meters above sea level, and you can see part of the town is down there, almost at sea level. So it would have been quite a climb to come up to the temple, and it sort of gives you that impression of the leaders being on top and in power, and those less in power right down there. You can actually see this from ancient villages from kilometers away. The construction was done using andesite stone, which is extremely durable, but it's quite hard to work. But that might be why it's still here now. The pillars you could see up there were replicas made out of casts of the originals, so I don't think there's any of the originals actually still standing. It says on the Turkish Museum website that they plan to do a renovation, a full renovation, so that'll be interesting to see. But it was due this year, so I'm not entirely sure they've started yet. We'll see. So this temple was part of a bigger complex including the Agora, the Market, and the Gymnasium, the school of thought set up by Archimedes. And then further down, right down at the seaside, there's the port.
The port would have been one of the ultimate stops for ships crisscrossing the Mediterranean and Black Sea. As we leave the main temple area, let's walk down the hill to the main city. Every year, Turkey has lots of wildfires due to the heat and the climate. As you can see, ancient cities are not immune to this.
Whew. After about 10 minutes and 900 meters of walking down this path, we're here. So what's behind us now would apparently be the city council buildings, the bureaucracy centre of the city. And down there, we've got the theatre, which would have seated, the numbers are conflicting, but between 2,500 to possibly 4,000 people for comedies and tragedy Greek plays. As we walk through further, we'll see the other areas, the Gymnasium and the Forum. Not Forum, Agora. Latin. Who knows? It's all Greek to me.
The Agora would have been the heart and soul of the city. Think of it as the ancient version of a city centre, a mall and a town hall all rolled into one. It's where everything happened. It's where people came to buy and sell stuff, catch up on the latest gossip, and even participate in the city's political life. For a city like Assos, the Agora was crucial. It's where ideas were exchanged, deals were made, and the community came together.
So this is the Agora. And on either side... Oh! And there's a stone there. And on either side, there would have been covered markets.
A stoa is a covered walkway that would have provided shade from the sun and rain for shoppers and merchants. This is the Gymnasium, and it was more than just for physical training, it was a centre for intellectual pursuits. Aristotle would have likely taught here during his time in Assos, around 345 BC. Aristotle's presence would have elevated the city's status as a centre of learning. It would have offered education in philosophy, literature and politics. These towers form part of the city gate. Its impressive fortifications showcasing Assos's military significance, forming an imposing entrance to the city.
This is advertised as the best preserved Greek city in the world on the Turkish Museum website. Now, that could be because when they built the city, it was so well built that the later civilizations that came didn't really need to improve on it. So it stayed reasonably how it was originally. It could also be that it just fell out of use because once it was absorbed into the Roman Empire, the Romans had bigger ships that could go longer distances, and this was more of an intermediary port between places like Troy and Constantinople to go down to the Mediterranean, to Greece, to Athens. And once they had the ships to go long distances, they just didn't need to stop here anymore. Welcome to the village of Behramkale, which surrounds Assos, the ancient city.
Behramkale is the modern village surrounding the ancient site of Assos. It blends historical ruins with the contemporary Turkish life.
It's quite a walk, it's quite windy, and there's a million wind chimes on this hill.
The Murat Hudavendigar Mosque. This is a great example of an early Ottoman mosque. Standing up here and seeing this view shows you what would have inspired people to build a temple up here. The view of the surrounding scenery is incredible. It would have also given incredible strategic advantages in all directions.
So we were just having a chat, and apparently this mosque is only 1,000 years old. But it's not making it into this video's top 10.
It's estimated that it was built around the second half of the 14th century, immediately after the region was added to the Ottoman lands by Murat Hudavendigar in 1362. The marble for this door with its Greek inscriptions was apparently brought from a Byzantine church in Skamandros, which would be near modern-day Ezine. It would have been built using stone from the ancient city of Assos. Next in our journey, we'll be heading up to Alexandria Troas and the city of Troy. Stay tuned for more adventures.